Tim Bergling, better known as Avicii, first started getting noticed with his 2011 hit Levels. But he's probably best known for breaking down walls between musical genres. His 2013 mega hit, Wake Me Up, redefined what a dance track could be.
So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older.
In 2018, the music community and fans around the world were heartbroken when the Swedish prodigy took his own life while traveling in the country of Oman. A year later, Tim's family and friends have unveiled a posthumous Avicii album simply called Tim.
Can I get a little peace of mind?
I sat down with two of those collaborators, Aloe, Blacc, and Neil Jacobson, to hear how they finished this album without their friend. What was the decision like for you two to say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to get on board with this and release this aspect of Tim's legacy into the world? Was it a tough decision?
You know, for me, it was not a tough decision. I felt like the kind of experience that we had in the studio on stage was a powerful moment for music history, a powerful moment for him, and for me, it was, you know, one of the most important parts of my career. So to honor him and honor his legacy by recording SOS, I felt there was no other answer.
And your song is called SOS.
Can you hear me, SOS? Help me put my mind to rest.
What was it like emotionally working on this?
When I saw the title of the song, it brought back all the emotions of the day you get the phone call that Tim passed. Like, why am I getting the SOS now? You know, it's months after. Like, I wanted the SOS months before. I don't know of another artist at his level with so many fans that would be willing to say the things that he's saying in this record. I don't need my drugs.
I don't need my drugs. We could be more than just part-time lovers.
That's the most important line I've heard in the music business in the past few years, where we've seen drugs take the lives of so many artists, and then the fans of artists, the people who are paying attention and using the music and the lifestyle around the music to suggest to them how they should process.
You always think that there's a future, right? You always just think there'll be another day for us to, you know, we have a few records from the original sessions with Aloe that in the back of my mind I was like, yeah, we should get to those at some point. And then something like this happens, and it's been a really, really emotional and hard puzzle to solve. How do you do this? Somebody like Tim, who is so active in the studio, this is a kid who would grind for hours and hours and hours himself. How do you make decisions like, okay, the record's done, the mix is right, and we did the best we can. I'm sure it's not perfect. Thank God Aloe was so giving and generous to jump on SOS the way that you did. You're one of the very few that Tim didn't overcoach Aloe when it came to a vocal.
Maybe you didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Did you feel overcoached?
I mean, you know, after, you know, having my own career and success and doing things my way, working with Tim, it was a welcome coaching, seeing how particular he was about the melodies that he'd create and how he'd create them. It's not like he was at a keyboard playing them. He was plugging them one by one into the program that he was using. And that, to me, was a special moment to see, like, okay, he's actually making all of these melodies by himself. So when I was in the booth and doing my vocals, like, I was really, really embracing his coaching, because I know that he is going to make it the best that it can be for that moment.
What state were all these songs in as this posthumous album began to take shape?
So the process that Tim usually goes through is he goes in and he writes the song first. And once the song is right, he then backward produces them. He works the track around the vocal. We had the songs pretty much there. So you're hearing them pretty much finished in the exact phase that they were in with, again, the exception of Aloe jumping on SOS. You have to understand how funny Tim was, right? He was very funny. You know, we had felt like we had most of the songs in place. And I said, great, you know, let's do a couple more sessions. I thought everything was going great. I thought everything was wonderful. Tim, sounded great. How you feeling? So good. I was like, cool, so we meet up Thursday? Can't do Thursday, I'm going to Oman. I was like, Oman? What's in Oman? Oh, I'm gonna go check it out. I hear it's beautiful over there. You're crazy, Oman. I know, I'm crazy, go figure. I'll be back next week.
That, I think, is what is so hard about mental illness and so frustrating about it, because people get so skilled at making everyone else think that they're okay.
There's always a mask up, and you wear it sometimes to try to fool yourself. And having seen and been in that whirlwind with my experience with him during Wake Me Up, and knowing that he'd come through all of that and was in a good place, I felt very confident that, you know, he'd come back and really be out there touring again one day.
And let's talk about the name of the album. It's named intentionally Tim and not Avicii to make this distinction between the man and the brand.
I don't know if I always seem to think of the funny parts about him as a way to protect myself from crying, but, you know, in the middle of us making this album, I would always complain to him, and I'd be like, Tim, did you write another sad song? And he would say, dude, I know. I'm working on a happy one. I'll give you a good fist pumper. We'll do that. I'm on it. It's coming next. What can I say? I just keep writing these songs. And I look back on it now and I'm crushed, because even me, who was hearing everything he was doing, you just didn't know, right? You didn't, that Tim, that idea, he gives it to you in plain sight. It was hiding in plain sight.
I think in the song titles alone, I think with this album you'll hear Tim, and not so much Avicii, who is, you know, the god of the big festival or the nightclub banger. It's the man.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.